Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are unpacking a truly mind-bending thought experiment from Daniel Luer's History for Humans. It's an activity that is going to challenge absolutely everything you think you know about the past. We often take history for granted, right? Treating it like it's just a dusty collection of dates and names. But what if it was all suddenly gone? Poof. We're going to walk through this entire scenario step by step to prep your mind so that you are fully ready to crush your upcoming Think, Pair, Share activity. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The history class dilemma. 2. The dictator's master plan. 3. Society without a past. 4. Your life without history. And 5. The ultimate value. Let's dive in. Starting off with Section 1, the history class dilemma. Why students grumble. Okay, I want you to imagine your own life for a second. Think about walking into a classroom and seeing this massive, heavy textbook just sitting there on your desk. I want you to brainstorm the real, honest reasons you, or maybe your friends, might roll your eyes when it's time for history class. Is it the endless memorization of dates? Is it feeling completely disconnected from people who lived hundreds of years ago? For question 1 on your worksheet, just get those raw, honest thoughts right down on paper. Now, it's incredibly easy to just focus on what you're missing out on when history is erased. On the surface, a world without history means no more boring lectures, no more stressing over ancient dates, and absolutely no more final exams on the Roman Empire. Sounds kind of like a dream, right? Well, this supposed dream is about to take a really dark turn. Which brings us to Section 2, the dictator's master plan, erasing the past. The prompt asks us to imagine that a dictator has just taken over your country. And this isn't just a political takeover, it's a total intellectual one. This dictator has completely erased all knowledge of history. He has literally burned the books. He's had all the history teachers arrested and taken away. There is zero history taught in schools. You can't head to the library to find a book about the past, and you definitely can't just order one on Amazon. Now, sure, there are some relics left behind, maybe some old art from bygone eras or random photo albums, but there is absolutely no real context for them. We have zero understanding of how those people actually lived. Our collective memory has been wiped completely clean. So this brings us to question 2. The worksheet notes that this dictator is doing what many others have tried to do before him, get rid of history so he can rewrite it himself. But instead of this writing down the first thing that comes to mind here, I really want you and your partner to dig deep. Why have rulers throughout time tried to erase or rewrite history? The crucial point is figuring out the motive. How does a blank slate actually help a dictator maintain absolute power? Think about what happens when people literally don't know what freedom used to look like, or how past tyrants were overthrown. It's a total game changer for them. Moving right along to Section 3, Society Without a Past, a cultural blank slate. For questions 3 and 4 on your worksheet, I want you to really explore the dichotomy of this scenario. First, look at the advantages. Could a country without a past have some new opportunities? Maybe without those old historical grudges, people would just start totally fresh. It's a tough question for sure, but stretch your mind to find potential advantages. Then flip the script. What immense, crushing problems would our society face living in the dark like this? How does a culture function, pass laws, or even build a community when it has absolutely zero knowledge of the mistakes and the triumphs of the generations that came before it? Now for Section 4, Your Life Without History, the personal impact. This brilliantly sets up questions 5 and 6. This is where you need to pause and make this intensely personal. Weigh whether you, sitting right there, right now, would experience any unique advantages in this dystopia. Again, maybe there's a lack of expectations based on your family's past, but then consider the disadvantages. Would you be hopelessly lost without a historical compass in your own life? If you don't know where your grandparents came from, or why your town was built the way it was, or how the rights you enjoy every day were fought for, do you even really know who you are? Finally, Section 5, the ultimate value. Why history matters. Okay, it is time to render your final verdict. Looking at the big picture, is our world a better or worse place if we no longer learn, study, and remember our history? Next, is your personal day-to-day life better or worse off without it? And for question 9, I actually want you to make a list. Why might learning our world's, countries, states, and local history be absolutely essential for our literal survival as a species? And think about survival not just as finding food and water, but the survival of our humanity, our progress, and our freedom. This brings us full circle to the core idea embedded right there on the logo of your worksheet: History for Humans. This entire exercise proves that history isn't just random trivia you memorize for a test. It is the foundational building block for how we operate as human beings. It is the story of us. So, out of everything you've brainstormed today, what is the single most important reason to study history? When you write your paragraph, remember the structure. Formulate a strong claim stating your best reason, back it up with clear evidence and examples from your brainstorming, and finally, close your argument with a bang. Dive deep into this with your partner, challenge each other's ideas, and truly appreciate the history you are allowed to learn today. Have fun with this one, and good luck.